Boom goes the dynamite. You've tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. Who else did you think it was? Coming at you live here on 103.9 FM, WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. Good morning out there to everybody. We are also streaming in stunning HD at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. You can always check out all things Clay Edwards. Find all the links to all of my social media, my merch shop, and more at ClayEdwardsShow.com. It's ClayEdwardsShow.com. Not the Clay Edwards Show, just ClayEdwardsShow.com. Appreciate any support you want to give there. Appreciate you if you want to hit that share button. If you're about to tune in and watch online, a little bit goes a long way. We always appreciate anybody willing to hit the share button. That's how we defeat the big tech algorithm that still, regardless of what they say, likes to shadow ban and censor conservative voices. And not even conservative, just common sense voices. You ain't spewing the lie, the big lie, they ain't down with you. They ain't down with you. I got a kick out of something yesterday. So I'm going to sound like I contradict myself, which I have been known to do around here. When you talk a lot, you're liable to talk in circles every now and then. Somebody sent me a picture of the Black Votes Matter tour bus wrapped, parked in Fondren yesterday. So I shared it, and we'll talk about what I said here in a second, but it's so funny sometimes, like what Facebook sees as pro-liberal posts. And I used the Black Votes Matter hashtag and all this stuff, fighting back. And it said, what exactly did it say? I got a chuckle out of this a minute ago. It says, here it is. We increased your reach. We increased your distribution because you've frequently posted high-quality content. And it's got a picture of the Black Votes Matter bus. I'm like, yeah, they were just looking at those keywords there. They didn't actually read what I said, or they didn't understand the context of what I said. But I got a big laugh out of that. So speaking of that, the Black Votes Matter bus was parked in Fondren yesterday. I guess they didn't get the memo that is, in fact, actually the widest area in the entire state of Mississippi, Fondren. So, I don't know how successful the Black Votes Matter campaign is going to be in Fondren, but hey, Black Lives Matter was mostly white people burning down black neighborhoods, so maybe they're on to something. It's a mostly peaceful election, Clay. We brought in Black Votes Matter because it's mostly peaceful, minus the Molotov cocktails. It's Pride Month. We brought in the Queers for Palestine. We're gonna get John Horn across this finish line one way or another. Don't listen to me. I'm a madman. Oh, God. The hypocrisy that goes on. Why did I do that? Yeah, around here it's just mind-boggling to me. It truly is. So, the Black Votes Matter bus says on the side of it, find my picture again. I want to make sure I get this right. I'm trying to get my notes pulled up at the same time here. So y'all bear with you, boy. Just a second here. And these notifications update so fast on my Facebook, it's almost hard to keep up with stuff. Yeah, here it is. It says in big letters on the side of the bus, "We fight back." And to that I say, we know. We know y'all do. I watch the news. I keep up with social media. Just keep them. If you're at a Mexican restaurant and you see the Black Votes Matter bus pull up, just know you've been warned. Especially if you're at Margaritas or Gringos Tacos in the last week. I've seen the videos. We know y'all fight back. Or just fight. I don't think the back part was necessary. Y'all definitely fight. You know, we have seen the videos. The females are slap out of control over there. They go up in restaurants, start these big fights. You know, I have a conspiracy theory that I'm working with. I wonder if they're going to these restaurants and they are starting these big fights so they get kicked out without having to pay. These whole big groups of people. That's why you're going so... Let me tell you something. There was a shift a few years ago in the way restaurants operate, like the logistical function of the restaurants. And it was because of this, and it was because of hashtag the culture wanting to complain and send food back. And when the rabbits got the gun, restaurants are kind of at their mercy because they want to get paid. But what a lot of restaurants have done now, and I did this at my place in Jackson, it was by design, I can assure you, because of this very thing. Call it whatever you want. I call it reality. We made everybody prepay. You come up to the counter, take a look around, look at the menu, decide what you want, and you order it, and then you pay. So then when you complain, and I know you're making it up, I can look at you and say, sorry about your luck. I know that chicken was fried hard, just as you asked. I know that drink was made perfectly because I made it. You don't get to drink over half of it and decide you want to send it back. Everything was prepay. Everything. Lose a customer over it? Oh well. Holla, holla. But yeah. So, I don't know if Gringos Tacos is a prepay. I feel like it is. I feel like it's one of those places you walk to the counter. I've eaten at the one on County Line one time, but that was almost 10 years ago. Gosh dang, it has been that long. Anyway, so I feel like you walk to the counter, you prepay, and then you go to the table. I don't know how Club Margaritas is doing it, if you prepay there or what, but that's the way it should be. So the Black Votes Matter bus is in town. But, I'm curious about, I'm not really joking. I am being serious. all quasi-joking aside, who are they in town to support? It's got to be the Democrat, right? I mean, they got to be here for John Horhn, right? Not so fast. One of the most influential black pastors, and, we've been telling y'all this, that the white power structure, business owner power structure, Jeff Good and his folks, they're all behind John Horhn. Because, it would be racisms if they got behind Rodney DePriest or Zach Service. And then all the black preachers seem to be behind Rodney DePriest. The same black preachers that have been behind Lumumba for a while. The same white business owners that were behind Lumumba for a while. And I'm just going to tell you, if you got behind Chokwe and Lumumba at any point, the first campaign and or the second, you're an idiot. Sorry, not sorry, actually. Y'all helped destroy Jackson. You owe us an apology. You owe everybody else an apology. All you guilt-ridden white folks and pulpit pimps. You owe us an apology. I mean, you ran me slap out of Jackson, but you thought I was going to shut up? You thought I was just going to shut up? Hell to the no-no. Hell to the no-no. So, who is going to win today? Who is going to win today? I'm going to make a prediction. other than the obvious. I mean, it's easy to sit there and say that John Horn's going to win. You know, and sometimes the most obvious answer is the most boring, and it is the right answer. But we're gonna play an alternate theory. I think Zach Service comes into play today. I posted this last night on Facebook, so if you saw it, but I posted it late, so I'm going to regurgitate it here. I think Zach sucks just enough votes away from John Horn that Rodney DePriest pulls it out with the black support he's got from the preachers, like Crudup. That's what I meant to tell y'all a second ago. Crudup Jr., which he's the one that's in the Senate or the House down there, right? Or is that his dad? I think it's Junior that's the politician. Because black envy is a real thing. It truly is. And it feels like there might be a little jealousy there, and he don't want to see another brother get nothing. Y'all can tell me whatever y'all want. I used to have black dudes tell me all the time they came to my club because they couldn't they couldn't stand to see another N-word have nothing. So they came to my bar instead of going to the black guy's bar around the corner. So I learned about the black envy a long, long time ago. I think what you have here is a case of black envy amongst the black hierarchy in Jackson right now. They didn't pick John Horn. So they don't want John Horn winning. So they're putting all their eggs in another basket. The white basket. Now, I didn't say right, I said white basket. It's going to be interesting. It really is. And like I said, I know there's a lot of people who think Zach's got a chance to win. Hell, maybe he does. Maybe he does. Look, and I like Zach. I've been very clear about it here. I respect Zach. And he's really made me, I don't say a fan is not the word I'm looking for here, but he's earned my respect. That's just the best way to put it. He has. And I saw that he's starting a podcast, and, I saw he was going to be on another radio station. I wouldn't advise that. We could have made room for you over here at WYAB. I mean, don't let me speak for the boss man. But anyway, I think Zach is doing the perfect thing. He has built a name for himself in a short amount of time. Very similar to what I did with the Save Jackson page. And I used that success to parlay it into the radio. I know that angers some of y'all, but that's what I did. Y'all got Clay envy too. And there's a lot of you that do. We discussed that yesterday. A lot of people from my past, from my nightclub era, that just can't stand to see a brother have nothing. Can't stand to see a brother evolve. But Zach's doing the right thing. Win, lose, or draw today. He got a lot higher profile today than he did 3 months ago. And he's going to use that to start a podcast, a radio show, whatever. And that keeps him the next 4 years, if he sticks with it, and I think he will, that keeps him out in front of the public eye. It keeps his ear to the ground. Because if you're going to do this radio thing, you got to pay attention to what's going on around you. I'm telling y'all, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I said it the other day, and I'll say it again today. If Zach Service was if Zach Service was black, he would boat race John Horn and Rodney DePriest. One of them would have already dropped out. And I also believe that he would have probably been able to run as a Democrat. And we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It would already be over. Because I don't think anybody would be running against him. And look, the Democrat-Republican thing, throw that out the window on these local elections. Throw that out the window. Every now and then people have to run as something they're not to win. Now, I mean, look, obviously you know a Democrat from a Democrat. you know when you got a real Democrat. But these white guys that run as independents, sometimes they're conservative. But it does not necessarily mean that they are Republican or conservative or whatever. But sometimes, you got to get on the other side of the Democrat primary. And it's just hard for a white dude to win the Democrat primary. It just is. So you run as an independent, you ain't got to deal with the primaries. You ain't got to waste a lot of money in the primaries. That way you let a lot of the bigger candidates kind of fight it out and spend a lot of their money in the Democrat primary. Then you save your money for the general. I mean, like Rodney DePriest, that's why you're seeing his name so much more right now. He raised $80,000+ and he didn't really have to spend any of it outside of some signs until after the Democrat primaries and Republican primaries, whatever. But so while your John Horns of the world had to spend a bunch of money to win the Democrat primary. Does that make sense? Let's take a break. This is the Clay Edwards Show, live on WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com. It's an election Tuesday here in central Mississippi. When we come back, I want to give away the first of not one but two FAFO championships on the show this morning. That's right. Not one, but two. We're diversifying here at the Clay Edwards Show. These are going to be the DEI FAFO championships. Diversity, equality, and whatever the I stands for. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB, streaming worldwide in Stunning HD at SaveJXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. And of course, the replay is always immediately available right there on all those sites. Also, do the audio-only podcast of the show. If time is of the essence for you guys, hey, I got you covered. We clip out all the pre-recorded ads, the commercial breaks. The live reads stay in. At the end of the day, this is a business. The live reads stay in, but the pre-recorded ads stay out. We load it up as a podcast. It cuts it down from 2 hours to an hour and 30 minutes, roughly. Hour and 40 minutes, something like that. Anyway, it saves a lot of time. It makes it listening easier for you. We also clip up the segments and put them out as like little 8, 9, 10, 12-minute segments of different topics. I didn't get to do it yesterday. I had a meeting, but I will usually go back and do it in retro. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, when I have enough content, enough single clips, we put out a best of the week episode. And we try to keep content posted in the podcast. That's on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, all those places. We try to keep that going, Google Podcasts, whatever. 7 days a week. Try to give you something that you may have missed. And, of course, YouTube. We're everywhere, man. So follow me. Follow me at SaveJXN and at Clay Edwards Show. All over the place. If I ain't on one, we're on the other, and sometimes we're on both. Hey, look, real quick, I know you just heard the commercial. I want to welcome a new partner to the show. We're going to make this quick. He's somebody you should be very familiar with. They were on Jameson Haygood's show for the last few years. It's a true patriot, good fella, representation of blue-collar, hard-working boot in your ASS, American, Russ Borland and Tri-County Tree Service. If you need any tree service done, trimmed, cut down, hauled off, whatever all you can need done with a tree, they can do it. Give them a call today, 601-940-5499. The number's up on the screen right there now. Tri-County Tree Service, Russ Borland, locally owned, locally operated. Give them a call today, 601-940-5499. We'll be telling you a lot more about Russ Borland and Tri-County Tree Service. We'll have Russ on the show here soon. Let him tell you a little bit more about himself. I heard him on Jameson's show before, really, really enjoyed it, was honored when he asked to come over here to the Clay Edwards Show after Jameson decided to, go a different path in life for now. take his battle another direction. But hey, we love Jameson, and we're really excited to have Tri-County Tree Service stick with WYAB and the Clay Edwards Show. So y'all, if y'all need any tree work done, Tri-County Tree Service. If you don't remember the number, you can always ask me. All right, let's see here. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944, 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. Who's going to win the election today in Jackson? Does Chip Matthews have a chance in Canton with all the chaos going on up there? With the twerking mayoral candidate, failed mayoral candidate, who's, by the way, now taking her case to the Supreme Court of Mississippi, her recount. But I thought Democrats said all elections were all fair. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I thought you had to respect the voter. Got to respect the vote. They had all kind of other dumb things they said. But man, until they lose a close one, then it's shenanigans. Get the brooms. Shenanigans. So now she's taking her case to the Supreme Court, where I'm sure it will be thrown right out if heard at all. So anyway, that's the chick, Camelia Walker, that lost the Democrat primary by less than 50 votes. Look, man, that sucks. My thoughts and opinions on the twerking former school teacher who lied about test scores and all that, and decided to go twerking at golf, Top Golf around a bunch of kids. My thoughts and opinions aside, that does suck. I mean, I think every rose has its thorn, cuts like a knife. I'm sure it does. But you lost. Now move on. Because what that does now is, now you got whoever the other guy running, the Democrat running up in Canton is, I don't care. Doesn't affect my day-to-day life none. Now you got him having to fight two fights. He's over here fighting to see if he's even going to be the candidate. And then you got Chip Matthews chomping at the heels as the Republican candidate. So Chip thinks he's got a chance of winning. Look, I love Chip. We go back 30 plus years. I find it difficult to believe that he can win, not because it's Chip Matthews, but because he's a Republican and he's white and we're talking about Canton. And just like I think it's going to be difficult for a white candidate to win in Jackson, even though I know I did just predict that to happen today. But it's still going to be difficult for that to happen today. I'm just, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that it happens. But, look, I'm pulling for Chip. I'd like for my boy to be mayor in Canton. See what kind of things I can do to benefit Clay. See what kind of corruption I can get involved in. I'm kidding. I need some contracts. Can I cut some grass or something? What kind of, they've been giving out contracts to friends of mayoral candidates in Jackson, or friends of the mayor in Jackson, for the last 8 years. I need to get in on some of that. I need a little reparations. I'm the minority around here. I'm the minority. I need some minority contract. I want to be the minority set aside in Jackson and in Canton. I'm just saying, it is what it is. White folks is the minority in Jackson and Canton. We need some of these minority set-aside contracts. You can't be in a city that's 85% black and still be hollering about minority contracts. You are not the minority. That's not how it works. Not how it should work. But I digress. Let's see here. Guns and Gear text line. I'll leave that one private. Somebody says, I would love to see Kim Wade or Zach be the mayor. Hey, look, man, I would love to have seen Kim be mayor, but Zach will be will be sufficient. Like I said, man, what Zach has done, and Zach's going to call in here an hour or two, by the way, today. Let him sell himself one final time for the voters today in Jackson. And then Chip will be back on here at 9 for another show today, and he'll be selling himself to the voters up there in Canton. What Zach has done is he has proven that he is not scared to figuratively punch somebody in the mouth. I mean, he has earned people's respect by showing up to every one of these events and not backing down to the black industrial complex that runs Jackson. I mean, they tried all the stuff. You had old Trashly Ashley, a girl that runs a big Facebook group, get on there and say all these nasty things about him. She drug me into it too. That's when you know you're dealing with a real rocket scientist, astronaut, engineer, none of the above, is when they don't know you at all. But the way they communicate, the way they try to, because when their argument is trash, what I've noticed a lot of these black people do around here is they just go straight for whatever personal. Look at his teeth. He smells like a dog. Crackhead. And they just go for all this. He's ugly. Oh no, I'm ugly. Trashly Ashley thinks I'm ugly. I won't even entertain arguing with somebody that ain't even got real hair. Next. Let's give out an FAFO championship real quick before we go to the break. Your FAFO champion number 1 of the day is a fella, speaking of Canton, Mississippi. This guy thought it would be a good idea to run from Gluckstadt Police and run towards Canton, to the criminal safe haven of Canton, Mississippi. A lot like Jackson. But contraire mon frere, what they have in Canton is the Madison County Sheriff's Department. So let's read this real quick. Which they may or may not have anything to do with this. I hadn't even read this. I just saw the picture, and it was the first name. I saw it. I saw the amount of vowels, and I just knew guilty. Guilty. Anyway, and I'm gonna try to pronounce this name, and I would love to know what his street name is, because there ain't no way in two blue hells that anybody actually calls this guy by his full government name. This is from darkhorsepressnow.com. Actually, both of our FAFO stories today are from Dark Horse Press and Therese Apel. It says a man named Rodriguez Tyrell Pinson. Now, how many vowels does Rodriguez have in it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vowels in his first name. He's a serial killer. Potentially. Rodriguez Tyrell Pinson was taken into custody last night in Canton, criminal safe haven, Canton, Mississippi, following a brief foot pursuit behind the Econo Lodge. Well, that's a headline you really don't ever want your name attached to. Gluckstadt police said Pinson fled on foot after abandoning a maroon Ford F-350 during a pursuit with officers. Without reading any more, I'm going to go out on a limb here and bet that F-350 was stolen. He was quickly located and transported to the Hilton there on 51 in Canton, a.k.a. the Madison County Detention Center. Pinson is facing multiple charges, including felony eluding, receiving stolen property, resisting arrest, improper tag, and careless driving. All right, so I will have to rescind my thoughts about the truck being stolen. I bet it wasn't his. Anyway, he's scheduled to make his initial appearance on these charges today in Gluckstadt Municipal Court. Madison County Sheriff's Office and Canton Police also helped with the arrest. That, my friends, is your first, but not only, effed around and found out grand champion of the day. The next one's going to be a white guy. That's right. It's all about equality over here. Inclusivity equality, and diversity. We cover all the bases here on the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back, live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios of Mississippi on WYAB. This is the Clay Edwards Show. To the show, the Clay Edwards Show, that is, live here on WYAB. Guys, you just heard it. You heard the boss man there on that commercial talking about the Parade of Homes. Wow, we are honored here at WYAB to be a part of the Parade of Homes, the summer edition, 2025 Parade of Homes by the Realtors Association. Super, super honored that they would ask WYAB to be a part of this. And you should too. It's Parade of Homes featuring the best from local home builders, members, featuring the newest and latest products in brand new homes. That's what it is. When is it? It's 2 weekends. Saturday, June 7th, Sunday, June 8th, Saturday, June 14th, and Sunday, June 15th. That's this weekend and the following weekend. Really excited about that. I need to buy a house, but I ain't going to right now. Anyways, brought to the market from Home Builders Association of Jackson. These collection of homes will only be open to the public these exclusive weekends. You need to check them out. Best place to start, their website, paradeofhomesjackson.com. Paradeofhomesjackson.com. Pick out which homes you want to go check out. Admission is absolutely free. Here's a couple quick little notes about it real quick. I'm reading this for the first time, so if I sound robotic, I do apologize. It ended up on my desk this morning, and it's come straight from my desk to you. Shopping to buy or build a new home? See the latest and greatest of brand new houses open to the public. Looking to build new? Start by seeing what's in our market now. Remodeling? See the latest features in our market for your home. All homes on paradeofhomesjackson.com, but there's nothing like walking through each and every one to see the details for yourself. So make sure to note and visit their award-winning homes listings on the website. All right, I won't sound as bad next time I do that, but go to paradeofhomesjackson.com. Check out the homes that are featured this weekend and next. Make plans to go see the one that suits your fancy. And I like that idea too. Even if you're not looking to buy a new home, you want to remodel, go through them and see what's going on in new home building technology and designs and ideas and trends, and maybe you'll find something you want to do. That's usually what I do, is I just find something that hits home for me. I'm like, you know what? I like that. When I was in the nightclub business, about every 6 months to a year, I would go down to New Orleans and just get an idea, because the clubs down there on Bourbon Street, they really did stay up to date on their technology, like their their lights and sound and the entertainment and some other stuff. So I'd go down there and just, drink specials. What were they doing? What kind of themes were they doing? Trends, promotions. And I would go down there and I would steal the crap out of some ideas. Oh man, I would steal some ideas. Because there's no original ideas left. It's just like, let me regurgitate one, put a new polish on it, and call it mine. Anyway, but I did discover one great one. We did reverse happy hour. Reverse happy hour. So let's just say it was like 1 a.m. Club's packed, but everybody's dancing. The bar's dead. If the bar's dead, we ain't making no money. So he's like, all right, the next 2 songs, every drink is buy one, get one free. Or buy one, get one half off, or 2 for $5, or just, whatever. And man, you saw the average. You could see at the end of the night how much more money you were making by driving people from the dance floor back to the bar. And it worked. A couple $1,000 difference every night. You average that out over the month, the year, and it made a big difference. But anyway, completely unrelated to Parade of Homes there. But I do like something, you're always looking for places to get inspiration from. It doesn't matter what I'm doing in life. I'm always looking to draw some inspiration from somewhere, whether it's my ever ever-evolving health journey, this radio show, my content, etc. Now, I have been doing this content game long enough that I don't really draw inspiration or influence from too many other places now. I've kind of created my own thing, and I've just evolved that. But I do still listen to a bunch of stuff. If I had to compare me and my show to anybody else's and say that I drew the most influence from this person, I would like to say it's Clay Travis and Outkick, because that was the true kind of inspiration for starting this show. Is I thought I could do that, talk sports and politics and whatnot, and our names were Clay. If one Clay can do it, the other can too. But I think my show is way more in line with Salty Cracker and the way he does things with a little more humor and whatnot. So that's, if I had to compare my show to anybody's, I would say it's probably closer to Salty Cracker. But he's uncensored and on the internet only, so he gets away with saying a lot of things and a lot of topics that we can't discuss here in the Bible Belt or on FCC licensed radio stations for that matter. But a lot of the humor and the cadence and speech and whatnot probably comes from Salty Cracker. And I just needed to burn a couple minutes there without getting too deep into another topic. Let's take a break real quick, come back. We'll have our last segment of the first hour. Then we got a whole another hour to go. We're going to start it with giving out an FAFO, effed around, found out grand championship to a white guy. That's right. This diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm sorry, diversity, equality. We don't say equity around here. It's diversity, equality, and inclusion here on the Clay Edwards Show. We are giving out an FAFO championship to a white guy. So everybody out there that says I only pick on black folks, hit that share button. Call a friend, call a foe, call a garden tool. We're about to break rules when necessary and give out a FAFO to a white guy. Right here in central Mississippi, too, nonetheless. We didn't have to go far for this one. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Also coming up in hour 2, Zach Service, Jackson mayoral candidate. A guy causing a lot of stress and sleepless nights for the big dogs. Going to be calling in. One last push to the polls. We'll be right back. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back in. We got about a minute left before the top of the hour break. I just confirmed with the young man, Zach Service. Looks like we're going to shoot for about 8:20 on his interview, right in that time frame. When we come back at 8:07, we're giving out the FAFO, the second FAFO championship of the day. That's right, 2 of them today. Hey, guys, if you're looking for somewhere to eat lunch, swing by and see my buddies on the reservoir, McBee's Bar and Grill. Today's special, it's beef tips over rice. You better get there early. It packs out. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO, the Clay Edwards Show. Live on 103.9 FM WYAB, streaming worldwide at WYAB.com and the TuneIn app if you just want to listen to the live stream while you're on the go. You can watch us, by us I mean me, in stunning HD on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. You can jump in the comment section there if you got what it takes. Only the strong survive. Survival of the sickest in that comment section. Man, they wilding out in there today. Wilding out. Almost 500 people in there watching right now. Good stuff, man. Good stuff at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday morning to get 500 people to stop what they're doing and watch this little old show. This little old show that's about to hit 1,000 episodes. That's right. That's right. The show that put Jackson, Mississippi mornings on the map. The show that busted cancel culture in the head all the way to the white meat. The show that did for Jackson what no rapper could. The Clay Edwards Show. Breaking rules when necessary. The show that made culture rot and FAFO household phrases. All while exposing the truth, The show that single-handedly, no, I'm kidding, not single-handedly, but the show that was partially responsible for finally ridding Jackson of the Lumumbas and helping end their 8-year reign of terror in this city. Bye, Felicia. This is the Clay Edwards Show. The 1,000th episode will be next Friday, May 13th. Do I have any tricks up my sleeves? Am I going to call in any favors? Or am I just going to come on here, raise hell, praise Dale, go scorched earth like I have today in the last couple of days? You'll have to tune in to find out. We'll see, maybe a little bit of both. All right, real quick, this segment, because it ties in. This sponsor ties in with this FAFO championship. How, you may be asking? Stay tuned and listen. Brought to you by A1 Gear and Auto. That's right, A1 Gear and Auto right there, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. Swing by and see Justin Nelson and the team today for all your automotive repair and maintenance needs. Whether it's a check engine light you need to get sorted out or a full engine swap, brakes, or anything else in between, they got you covered. They don't work on diesel engines, but we can recommend you to somebody that does. In the meantime, stop by and see A1 Gear and Auto for everything else. Also, they specialize in your ring and pinions, so trust me, if it messes up, you'll know what your ring and pinion is if you don't. Most shops around here send their ring and pinion work to A1 Gear and Auto, so you might as well just go there to begin with. Look, when Justin diagnoses it, he diagnoses it right the first time, which is going to save time and money. It's going to be ready when he tells you it's going to be ready. So if he says, hey, 2 o'clock on Tuesday, you can be there at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and your car is going to be waiting on you. They're that proficient. Check them out today. Hope you don't have to. I hope you don't need to go see A1 Gear and Auto, just like I hope you don't need to go see UrgeVet. But unfortunately, cars break, animals get sick, and you got to go do what you got to do. And when you do, we hope you support these great sponsors. Now, you may be asking yourself, Clay, what does A1 Gear and Auto have to do with this FAFO championship, this diversity, equity, and inclusion FAFO championship? Because like I said, white people are the minorities around here. So this is the DEI championship, FAFO championship, when we have to give one to a white guy. A mechanic, this is from Dark Horse Press. A mechanic, you know what, even better, I'm going to pull this one up on the screen. We're going to pull this one up on the screen. We're going to show the white guy here. We're going to show the white guy. Where did that? Come on. Get on up there. There we go. There we go. Just about got it. Let me pull him over here, make him bigger. Come on. Come on. All right. There we go. Mechanic takes Rankin Madison interdiction cruiser for a joyride. Tony Shack, is this your vehicle? Tony, I'm going to have to mess with you if this is your vehicle. There we go. All right. Here's the story. A mechanic is accused of taking a Madison Rankin County interdiction vehicle that he was supposed to be fixing on a joyride to Franklin County over the weekend. According to a statement written by Ian Smith, a security guard at Camp Ridge Point in Franklin County, in the early hours of Sunday, he got a call of a disturbance on the grounds of the camp. Where he arrived on scene, the subject was allegedly causing the disturbance. The subject that was allegedly causing the disturbance was gone. Smith, who has a background in law enforcement, said the crowd told him that the subject was driving a police car with the blue lights on, drinking beer, and making sexually harassing remarks to a woman in the group. Sounds like a good time, doesn't it? Smith said he then discovered the suspect parked in a lot on the premises of the camp. He asked the driver what was going on, and the driver said he was with the Rankin County Sheriff's Office and was recovering a stolen side-by-side ATV following an Apple AirTag, Smith asked why he wouldn't have called Franklin County for assistance. Quote, when I questioned that, he eventually changed his story to the side-by-side being a rescue vehicle for Rankin County SO, Smith said. As time went on, I was trying to have a conversation with him, and his responses weren't making sense from a law enforcement standpoint. The driver had told other witnesses additional conflicting stories about the alleged ATV. Absolutely nothing was making sense, Smith said. Smith then saw the patrol car had an open Twisted Tea alcoholic beverage in the cup holders. He said that's when he asked the driver about the alcohol. The driver dismissed it, seemed aggravated when Smith took a picture of him. The driver allegedly became irate. There's a photo of him. You can go to darkhorsepressnow.com and see it. If you're watching online, I'll scroll back up and show it to you in a minute. Continuing on, Smith said, I convinced him it would be best for him not to exit the vehicle, and he obliged. He then decided he was going to leave, and he did so, Smith said in a statement. On Monday, Smith began making calls and found out the patrol car was at a mechanic shop and that the driver he had encountered was one of the employees at that shop. And here's where this ties into A1 Gear and Auto, sort of. The alleged driver was identified to Smith as Justin Nelson, he said. Madison Police Department issued the following statement Monday afternoon. I'm not going to get into reading the statement, but we're going to stop there. Justin Nelson is not the same Justin Nelson from A1 Gear and Auto. I had 3 or 4 people text me this last night. It was like, man, is that your boy? First I could look at the picture and tell it wasn't, but I sent the article to Justin, and he didn't read the whole thing at first. He thought people just assumed it was him because it was a mechanic shop, and he does, in fact, work on some Rankin County deputies' cars. Small world, right? Like, what are the odds, you know? But anyway, I wanted to clear up this morning as we issue our FAFO championship to this Justin Nelson, because it looks like he decided that it would be a good idea to borrow a cop car and go to, have a little fun. Now, there is some backstory to this that I was told by somebody. A member of the deer camp, they got their side-by-side stuck. They called somebody, and that person called Justin and asked them, could he go out there and help get the vehicle? He agreed to do that, but he took the Rankin County SO vehicle to go do it, and that is where he effed around, and that is where he will, in fact, find out. Let's read real quick. What did Madison say on this? I didn't read the whole story last night, but I just wanted to clarify that this Justin Nelson that works at a mechanic shop and works on Rankin County cop cars is not the same Justin Nelson with A1 Gear and Auto. All right, so Madison says, on June 2nd, 2025, the Madison Police Department was made aware of a matter concerning one of their units that was at a local mechanic shop for repairs. It was brought to our attention that this unit was apparently photographed in an event in Franklin County on the night of June 1st, 2025. The driver of the vehicle was not an employee of the city of Madison, and it had not been authorized for this vehicle to be driven to Franklin County. We understand that there are occasions where a vehicle in for repairs has to be driven to determine certain issues or to test whether the vehicle was properly repaired. However, this was not the case with this vehicle. Once we were made aware of this incident, the Madison Police Department took possession of the unit and transferred it to a different vendor to complete the repairs. Madison County continues an investigation into this matter. And if you're watching online, here is the photo of the fella driving. Looks like that's one of those SUVs. That's a Madison County one. I'm sorry, that ain't Tony's. That ain't Tony. That's a Madison County. I mean, that's a Madison City SUV, I believe. That's a Tahoe there. Yeah, Tony confirmed, not his. But there's our fella there. You know, man, like, all joking aside, I try to compare criminal behavior, and it ain't all the same. Like, there's a difference. There's a difference, and I know y'all gonna get on me. Oh, Clay, you just defending him because he's white. That is not the case. That is not the case. But we'd be lying to ourselves if we said that this is the same thing as a guy running from the police and potentially putting untold amounts of lives in danger in a high-speed pursuit going down the interstate from Gluckstadt to Canton and then running on foot. Anything can happen, right? A mechanic borrowing a cop car from the mechanic shop he's working at to go pull an ATV out of a ditch and do a little joyriding, it ain't the same thing. Now, the drinking and driving is absolutely ridiculous and foolish, and he 100% shouldn't be doing that. Unfortunately, they won't be able to prove if that was the case or not because, they didn't catch him in the act. And I'm sure he will most likely end up with some type of charge on him. Disorderly conduct, improper use of a vehicle, impersonating a police officer. They're going to get him with something because you have to make an example out of people so nobody does this again. And that's like one of my biggest gripes with Jackson and them not arresting folks for small stuff like this. If you don't ever make an example out of folks, they just keep doing it. A couple years ago, a guy stole a cop car in Jackson. It's probably been 4 or 5 years now. And I was driving around in circles downtown Jackson, around the King Edward down there, just driving around in circles with the police chasing him in a low-speed pursuit. I specifically remember they did not arrest him. They just called it a mental health issue. I bet it was. You got to be crazy to steal a cop car. This guy was probably having a mental health break if he thought it was a good idea to do this. Because no sane person thinks it's a good idea to borrow and or steal a cop car for a joyride. Now, I agree that neither deserves to be shot or locked up for a long time for a little joyride. But you still got to make an example out of them. That's why I was called out the police chief in Jackson last week for that fight at Margaritas. You got everybody on video in an all-out brawl, easily identifiable. They should be perp walking. They should all get a mugshot like they did at Buffalo Wild Wings in Flowood a couple years ago when they all got to fighting out there. We posted that video on my socials, actually. And unfortunately, people I know got arrested. That's the price you pay to play the game, I guess. But start making examples out of these dang people. It ain't rocket science. It ain't rocket science. All right, look, we got Zach on hold. We're going to take a break real quick. When we come back, we got Zach Service on the line. But that is your diversity, equity, equality, and inclusion. Let me say that one more time. Diversity, equality, and inclusion FAFO championship of the day. Not Justin Nelson from A1 Gear and Auto, but Justin Nelson from another mechanic shop who decided to take a cop car on a joyride to deer camp. In what really has to be the most epic no good deed goes unpunished of the day ever. Because he actually went out there to go pull a buddy side-by-side out, but he just made the mistake of using the wrong vehicle to do it. It'd be like that sometimes. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Zach Service, mayoral candidate, Jackson, Mississippi. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Let me clear this up real quick. There we go. Welcome back in as we stream worldwide from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studios of Mississippi. This is the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB 103.9 FM at SaveJXN if you want to watch in video on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. This segment brought to you by our friends. How about our friends over at B3 Catering? That's burgers, blues, barbecues, catering, wing. Guys, we talk about it a lot. Burgers, blues, barbecue. Phenomenal locations, all three of them. Madison, Flowood right there at Dogwood, right in front of Dick's Sporting Goods. And, of course, the downtown Brandon location with I think it's probably the largest outdoor dining patio in the state of Mississippi. I can't think of a bigger one. It's definitely the largest covered one. Again, I can't think of a bigger one. If you're out there at the quarry, got ball tournaments, playing games or anything like that, or Shiloh, You already know. Between games, after games, whatever, swing by. They got room for you. They can get it out fast and good. But look, did you know that they also offer catering? There's B3 Catering is what they call it. And man, they can do it all. You know, they have some fixed options if you want to do breakfast for your staff. They do breakfast options. Office managers, business owners, car lot managers, anybody. Consider the B3 Sunrise Wraps. Get a platter of any of these. The honey butter chicken biscuits, chicken and waffles. Who don't like chicken and waffles? Hash brown bowls, grit bowls, or they can bring and set up the B3 breakfast buffet style. That's right, man. It has some eggs and bacon and biscuits and gravy and all that stuff set up there, sausage. And let everybody kind of fix their own plate, continental breakfast style. They can do it all at B3 Catering. But look, they're way more than just little breakfast catering. Consider them for your major event from 5 to 5,000 people. Weddings, they got you covered. Well, you think they just do chicken strips and burgers? If you can dream it, they can do it. White tablecloth, fine dining, they got it all at B3 Catering. Holler at Taylor DeSalle today. You can text or call her. Let's see here. Let's just give you the email or just the website and let you do that here. b3catering.com. b3catering.com. You can also reserve a food truck, and they have liquor, beer, and wine available. They do have a mobile liquor license. You know, hey, maybe you want to throw a party at your house, do a bourbon tasting, a bartending class, something like that. They can do all of it. B3 Catering. Not a lot of people offer that. They do. Those bartending classes for like your group of friends or whatever are super fun. Those bourbon tastings, super fun. Definitely set your birthday party or your private event. Not aside, set it apart. Set it apart from anybody else's. All right, b3catering.com. Or heck, just swing by Burgers Blues Barbecue today. Grab lunch, grab dinner, whatever the Blue Plate special of the day is. Let me tell you that real quick before we get to Zach. The Blue Plate special of the day is red beans and rice with sausage, fried pork chop, or hamburger steak. All for just $12.50. All right, let's see. Let's go to the Mazda of Jackson phone line and see if we got Zach. Hey, Zach, you there?
Hey, yes, sir.
All right, man. Appreciate you staying on hold there for us. We got Zach Service, potentially the next mayor of Jackson, on the phone line with us. Zach, how you doing this morning, man?
Man, I am pretty good. Now, my GPS is not working, so I'm on my way to another radio station to host my hour today, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't get lost on the way. I'm having to go old-fashioned way, just looking at the map.
Now, man, we need to have a talk about that. We can get you on over here at WYAB, but we'll do that off air. Look, so sell yourself to folks, man. Tell them why they should vote for Zach Service today.
Man, so biggest reason I would tell them right now, because everyone's talking about Jackson needs change, but we need change every 4 years. Every 4 years someone wants some change. That's nothing new. But do you actually want to have a fundamental transformation of the way our city is run? Because right now our city has been run essentially kind of the same way for the last few years. But when you look at it, we have decades of mismanagement. We have decades of poor decision-making, not planning well. And then in recent times, we have the fact that I don't think most of the administration does anything except look into how they can steal money and not have to work.
Agreed.
Yeah. So in the Zach Service administration, man, if you want to see someone who's going to tell you they're going to do something and then actually do it, anybody who's been watching me this time and around this time, you've seen that even if you didn't agree with me, I have done what I said I would do. And whether you agree with every single thing I say or every single policy or whatever that may be, you can definitely agree that Zach Service has not lied to you a single time yet. Every time I said, hey, this is what they're doing, I came out and showed you why they were doing it. I said, hey, this is what's happening here. Even when I dropped the salary spreadsheet, there were councilmen who didn't even know we had a second deputy public works director until I did that. So now I can tell you, hey, look, I had an impact already without even being mayor on getting things to be exposed here in the city that we're dealing with. And when I'm elected, I'm just going to finally have the actual resources to hit this stuff head on. So if you want somebody who's going to have to take a little bit to get up to speed, there are other options. But if you want somebody who you can trust, who has no problem being held accountable and putting themselves in the spotlight to be scrutinized, and is all well acquainted with what we need to do day one to start turning this ship around, then I would submit to you should vote for Zach Service today.
Are you going to drain the swamp if you win?
Man, I don't like to use verbiage that was coined by other campaigns, but what I will say this is if you are stealing taxpayer money or you are not doing the job you are elected to do, you're probably going to find yourself in a very bad position in the Zach Service administration. I'm probably going to reassign you to be a janitor.
Yeah, I want to reassign him to be a janitor at the jail because they're a resident there. Zach, look, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but something I would like to see come back by whoever the next mayoral candidate is prisoner labor. We need folks that are going to sit in our jails. We need them out on the roads cleaning this city up. And I know it's not a popular thing to say, whatever nowadays. Everybody's all woke and crap. But we need to put these folks to work. If they're going to sit around, they're going to get three meals and 3 hots and a cot. They need to be earning those 3 hots and a cot. And we need to get them back out there cleaning up the interstates and doing everything else. Folks shouldn't have to be volunteering. I posted a picture of the condition of the fountains at City Hall yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's it's putrid. And people in the comments have been so pistol whooped mentally by this administration the last 4 years of just trying to, just tell everybody, no, it's not our jobs. It's not our jobs to keep City Hall functioning. It's community needs to volunteer and come out and clean up the fountains and cut the grass. The hell we do. People need to do their jobs that they're currently being paid for to do now. And we got to quit telling people, oh, if you see something that needs to be done, just do it yourself. No, it's not we're taxpayers. People are paying taxes for the city to do these things. Will you commit to quit telling people that if they want to get something done to do it themselves and start doing the things the city is supposed to do?
Yes, and actually, it's funny you mentioned I don't quite use it the same terminology, but you mentioned prison labor. Funny enough, Mayor Lumumba was sitting on a program to do just that for the last 4 years, and he would not release it. He kept telling the employees and lying to them and telling them, well, it's because of the consent decree from Kennedy versus the city of Jackson, back when they were basically putting people in jail over misdemeanors that they didn't even assess whether or not they could pay it. So it was basically poor people's prison, right?
Sure.
So the federal government slapped us with a consent decree and said, hey, y'all got to stop that crap. You can't have someone going to jail for a fine if you didn't make sure they could pay it or give them an opportunity with an alternative. So the funniest thing about it is a program like this would have been that alternative. As long as it was fair labor, you're getting the proper amount of money applied to your fine for every hour of work that you do. So he wouldn't put it out. I proposed an ordinance, and I won't say which council person I worked with, but I actually ran it by them first, and Mayor Lumumba sabotaged my meeting because we were supposed to meet with Chief Wade about how we could implement it. So Mayor Lumumba got wind of it, had the city attorney step in and 86 that meeting. But I proposed the ordinance to the council during a council meeting a few months ago. It's actually on the live stream from the council meeting, and within 3 weeks, Mayor Lumumba rolled out Clean Sweep program to do that very thing, which would allow you to pay off a misdemeanor with community service. So not only would I commit to it, I've already put forward a plan for it, except the mayor was mad because he waited 4 years to drop something I wrote up in a few months.
Well, his next job is going to be prison labor, most likely. So maybe he's trying to avoid it. Maybe he's trying to keep it off the docket. No, obviously his is going to be in a federal misdemeanor. It is going to be in a federal prison, but nonetheless, maybe it's a touchy subject for him. Zach, look, man, it's been fun watching you do your thing. You came up from just a guy in the comments to a guy that's making news and doing things, and you've earned a lot of people's respect. I've had plenty of conversations with folks off the air, folks that you don't even know, and everybody's saying the same thing, that you've earned their respect regardless of what happens today. As long as you stay in the game, you're going to be a player for a long time. And I was really pleased last night when I saw your post about you doing a podcast and stuff, because I was actually going to have a conversation with you about that when I had a chance to talk to you after the election and tell you that you need, if you didn't win, you needed to do that, because I thought it was a great opportunity to take advantage of the platform you've built yourself. And when I saw you doing that last night, I smiled, man. I always welcome new people into this space who are doing it for the right reasons, and I know you are. So good luck with it. I'm still going to get you over here at WYAB one way or another. So I am the recruiting coordinator unofficially. But
heard.
Anyway, man, look, good luck with it over there at the other station today with your show. Good luck with the election today, and let's regardless of what happens, let's circle back and have another conversation one day this week and kind of unpack everything.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you lending the platform, man.
Absolutely. Zach, take care.
Peace.
All right. That was Zach Service, independent mayoral candidate, Jackson, Mississippi. I'm telling you, my prediction is that he siphons enough votes from Horn that it puts DePriest in office today. I mean, he could just win. Never underestimate or just assume what a Hinds County or Jackson voter are going to do. Because voter apathy is real. You never know who's going to turn out. That's why them Black Votes Matter buses are in town. Anything could happen. That's why they play the game, so to say. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show right here on WYAB. The Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by our friends over at, let's keep it local, man. Let's keep little Jackson flair, shall we? How about the Manship right there in front of Belhaven, across from the Baptist Hospital? Look, I was talking with Stephen O'Neill, the owner, when he was in the show, here on the show a couple weeks ago. And I told him, I said, look, I know the Michelin star people were in the state of Mississippi. And I predict that you guys will, in fact, be a Michelin-rated restaurant before they leave. Now, that hasn't come out yet or not. He said that he thought they were staying a little further south, hitting up the coast. They might not make it up this far. But whatever. Michelin star or no Michelin star, they're a Michelin star-rated restaurant because Clay Edwards said so. And to the lady that told me that I didn't know what good food was because I had never eaten at Bravo till December of this year, your boy knows good food. Your boy knows good food. Anywho, get over there to the Manship. They got great lunch specials, $15 blue plates, all fresh, phenomenal food. Happy hour, they have all type of bourbon specials. They're one of the top 70 bourbon bars in America. Out of the top 150, they're in the top half. They were like number 67 or 68. That's phenomenal. Right over here in Jackson, Mississippi, one of the top-rated bourbon and whiskey bars in America. That's cool. And they have all types of $5 bourbon shot specials. So swing by, take advantage of trying one of those high-dollar bourbons for just $5. And don't forget, happy hour, they have half-price wood-fired pizzas every day. And their pizzas are phenomenal. I can't say it enough. Phenomenal. That's the Manship right there, across from the Baptist Hospital on State Street in downtown Jackson, or more so in front of Belhaven subdivision right there. Veteran-owned and locally owned. Goodbye. See Stephen and his team today. All right. Let's see here. We've been going a little scorched earth for a while now. Let's check the Guns and Gear text line, see what's going on over there, and see what you guys got to say on the text line. Then we'll read some of the comments, too. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. No fresh text over there. Lanessa, good morning, my friend Lanessa, watching on the live stream. She goes, Manship is the best. Shout out to David Funches over there on the live stream. Jonathan Barnett watching on YouTube says, run for city council in 2029. I'm good. First off, you'd have to move back to Jackson to run for anything. Well, in theory, you're actually supposed to live in Jackson, even though I would say that a large majority of the politicians in Jackson don't actually live in Jackson. The mayor being one of them, allegedly, of course. Mr. Dilligaff on X says, and I love the name Dilligaff because I know that what the Dilligaff stands for. Do I look like I give a F? Says, look at the prison in Arizona, tent city. They all wear pink and they actually do better overall. 100%. 100%. Let's see here. Texas J, trying to play the race card. It says that it's always mental health when white people do it, but when black people do it, they're thugs. We was talking about the guy that stole the cop car. I was telling a story, drove around the King Edward a bunch of times, and instead of arresting him, they said it was mental health. But that guy was black. So that blows that argument up. Brittany says for me to check my inbox. Brittany, I will after the show. Thank you. Let's see here. It says, talk about the guy who tried to walk out on his bar tab. Carson says. All right, so I think Carson is talking about the black guy at some biker bar in another state tried to walk out on his bar tab, and he toted a butt whooping. They're calling it a hate crime. Wasn't a hate crime. He was at a biker bar and tried to walk out on his bar tab. That right there is effing around and finding out textbook style. Textbook F around, find out. Just like the idiot up in North Mississippi. The white guy that walked in the black bar and started calling them a bunch of N-words and was trying to start manhandling a couple folks. He effed around. He found out. Now, people have gotten on me for whatever reason, even though I'm in the camp that they weren't in the wrong, sort of. People have gotten on me. It wasn't a hate crime. It wasn't a hate crime. Well, look, I'm just telling you. Or they're saying, he didn't get whooped because he said the N-word. Well, one of the guys that were there and partook in it said that that's what happened. So if I don't believe the black guy, what does that make me? I'm just believing the guy that was there, that witnessed it. I mean, I understand them crawfishing and wanting to say it wasn't a hate crime because, who wants to deal with hate crime charges? I don't. So, I don't know. Kingfish just texted in and said, it's a fake story, take down the World Star story. Kingfish, what story are you talking about? Take down the World Star post. Don't think I've shared a World Star post, have I? Let's see here. I'm just kind of reading some of y'all's comments here. I haven't been doing very good on reading the comments online. So Texas Jay says, talk about the white thug biker gang jumping and beating the black guy in Indiana. Yeah, I mean, look. You walk into a biker bar. Have you not watched Sons of Anarchy? Look, in fairness, that guy's race had nothing to do with that ass whooping. He played with their money, and he got whooped for it. That wasn't a hate crime. I will gladly talk about that. I mean, here's the deal here's the problem that we've reached here with this platform and me talking about all the black crime around Jackson and around central Mississippi is that the black folks feel like I ignore the stuff that white folks do. I don't. They just don't do it in mass like the black folks do. So I don't have the content to talk about when it's white. We just had to try to balance things out a little bit. Just had to tell you a story about a guy going joyriding in a cop car. Well, look, I don't understand why black folks like to film themselves committing crimes in and around Jackson. But all the videos I get, it ain't me out in the field recording these things. It's black folks recording other black folks doing dumb stuff. What am I supposed to do with that? Nothing. I'm going to post it. I mean, okay, maybe white folks are out there committing the same and equal crime. The same amount of murder, the same amount of shenanigans, but they ain't filming themselves doing it if they are. There's like this conspiracy theory that goes on around here amongst some black circles where they say that there's the same amount of killing and drug dealing and robbing and stealing goes on in Rankin and Madison County as it does Jackson, but it's just being covered up. I've heard this said by multiple people. So it just tells you the type of people we're dealing with here that believe nonsense like that. Oh, let's see. Jana Patrick says, did you see the mayor of Greenville with his ghetto video acting like P. Diddy? Now, speaking of Greenville, we got a few seconds left here. Greenville is a great example of culture rot. And I've been meaning to make some videos about what's going on up there in Greenville. They had snipers on top of the Washington County Convention Center for Greenville High School's graduation. Then, some little young future rocket scientists, engineers, astronauts, thugs, killed one of their youngest and brightest, a young black teen that's a football player at Baylor. He had got up out of all this nonsense and was back home for summer break, I guess. Oh, that envy got him. They couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand to see a young brother have nothing. Had to take him out. Now, could you imagine the reaction? If you would for a second entertain this. And that's why I can't take these people serious. I can't take the black Democrat death culture genre. I can't take that group serious. Because not a peep out of these folks about that young man being killed, struck down in his prime, off to college, playing big-time college football, a big-time program. He comes back home to this third world hellhole. He gets gunned down. Now imagine, if you will, if that gunman had been a cop or a white cop or a white thug, period. Imagine the reaction. Let's take a break, come back, take it home for the day. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. One of the bigger crowds, one of the bigger live stream audiences we've had in a while. Looks like about 575 watching the live stream, another couple hundred listening at WYAB.com, and tens of thousands listening over the airwaves at 103.9. So good crowd this morning. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate the comments as always. David asked, did you get where I tagged you in a video where the black guy killed another black guy over a piece of fried chicken? No, God, no, I didn't. But please send that to my DM. Please send that to my DM if you can find it again. I get tagged in so much stuff, David. When I pick up my phone, and I know you're probably the same way. I pick up my phone, I hit my notifications, and they update in live time like a Ferris wheel. So it's hard for me to actually get to see any of the notifications on Facebook unless I just get lucky and get tagged in the same thing 100 times. All right, y'all get out and vote. If you're in Jackson or Canton or wherever today, wherever they have municipal elections, get out and vote. You want to see chaos in Canton, vote for Chip Matthews. He's going to shake things up. It'll be fun. It'll be a front row seat to the end of the world if you're working up in Canton. Go vote for Chip Matthews. It will be fun. If you're in Jackson, I don't care. I like Zach. I like the kid. How much worse can it get? I'd give him a shot. I'd give Zach a shot if I was voting in Jackson. I don't know between DePriest and Horn. My gut says DePriest, and it's not about race at all. It's about the resumes, and I don't like John Horn's resume. Do nothing Democrat, and he's voted for a lot of things that made no sense at his time. He was against HB 1020. He wants to be mayor of Jackson, but didn't want no more police in Jackson. Look, these politicians that voted against HB 1020, every single one of them got to go. It's why I lost all respect for Jeff Good. He may be a good businessman, but he's got out there and said that he was against HB 1020, which literally saves Jackson and the people of Jackson. But a lot of these businessmen got up there trying to be woke and pander and, let black folks know, oh, no, we're against this. We're against this. We know y'all hate cops, and man, dang it, we do too. That's how it comes across. That's how I see it. When you tell me you're against HB 1020, you are far more dead black bodies in the streets, and you hate police. And John Horn was against HB 1020. Jeff Good was against it. And it's made me where I can't respect any of these people. That's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. as we count down to the 1,000th episode next Friday, June 13th. They tried to stop this show. All they did was make it bigger. So big that it's now the number one talk show in the mornings, anyway, in central Mississippi. I mean, all of Mississippi. Y'all be blessed.